Please welcome co-founder, CEO, creative director of Emergent Order, John Papola.
Hey everybody. So I spent 3 years traveling the world with Arthur Brooks when we were making our movie The Pursuit, which was all about celebrating the power of capitalism to lift people up around the world. And as we get to the end of that movie, Arthur has this message that morals come before markets. So what does that mean? Well, markets are this powerful force for giving us what we want, but they beg the question, what do we want? And one of the questions I've been increasingly asking is, what if Americans don't want freedom? I think the fact is a lot of people don't. We have a fear culture, a culture of safety that is increasingly dominating our public discourse. And if we want a free society, I think we have to ask whether we can have it without a freedom mindset. So I want to share that story of how I found the freedom mindset, what it is, and I think what it can help tell us about defending a free society. This is a big year for my family. We're getting ready to send our son Mateo away. He is 18, he's a legal adult, which means that that little boy that used to play with his Matchbox cars is now driving himself to school. And he's getting ready to become an adult. He's on the precipice. Here he is in the Dolomite Mountains. We're planning to send him to Italy for college because at least Italian communists know the difference between men and women. That's completely true. And as I've been reflecting on my life with him as a father, I've come to realize that becoming a dad gave me the freedom mindset. I'm terrified of heights, by the way, terrified. But before I get into how and why, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. You know, I never lacked ambition. I was always driven. I loved projects. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Disney animator. I was a sort of young Republican, so of course I sent the Disneys to Baghdad, and it was the 90s and I was 12, so I didn't know how to spell Baghdad. But when my dad got a video camera, I'd suddenly discovered, ooh, I can tell stories with this. And so me and my best friend Josh started making video projects all the time. This was sort of a young Republican Daily Show wannabe. Played over closed-circuit TV for Central Catholic High School. My social studies teacher didn't really like that very much because she was on the other side of the fence. But then I went to film school, and I had the vision. I want to be the next Steven Spielberg. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to do. And so when I got out of school, funny enough, I actually ended up in animation at MTV. Not quite Disney, but you know, it was close. And then I worked at Nickelodeon, and then at Spike TV, the first network for men, which I have to say I did enjoy a little bit more. And then the first amazing thing happened. I met the love of my life, my partner in all things, the woman, not the tiger. And Lisa, as you can tell, was somebody who pushed me outside my comfort zone. She's given me courage. She's shown me the way. But the real transformation, oh, and by the way, she's Italian Catholic, so I really won on this one. It was a home run. So this was the transformational moment, though. When my son was born, my head just got completely rewired. You know, psychologists call this the dad brain. And, you know, we've all heard the stories, right? Hey, when you become a dad, you take on these responsibilities, you take on purpose, you find meaning, and through responsibility, you will be driven to succeed, to earn, to grow. You know, this is what my dad taught me. This is what Jordan Peterson tells young men. Embrace responsibility. Only that's not actually the thing that happened for me, because I already had a lot of responsibility. I was a young creative director at Spike. I was heading towards vice president. I was always judging myself. I'm not getting close enough to my dreams. I had all this ego and ambition. And like a lot of people that climb the corporate ladder, the higher up you climb that mountain, the narrower it gets, the more fear creeps into your decision-making process, because you have more to lose. You become more risk averse. I was increasingly surrounded by people who were risk averse. And that was the thing that I realized my son unlocked. He unlocked the freedom mindset. You know, there's this phrase, F you money. What does that mean? It means, if I make enough money, if I become independent financially, I can take those big swings, I can take those risks, I can negotiate with my life as if I can always walk away from the negotiating table, which is the best position to be in. And Matteo actually gave me that power without giving me the money, because I had this higher purpose in him and my love for him and what he meant for me and my priorities. I could walk away from any table. I was freed from fear. I was freed to pursue my dreams, and so I started to. First thing I did was re-engage my politics. This is the first and I think maybe the only time I've actually volunteered for a campaign for Ron Paul. And I started to become vocal. I started to get out there with my ideas, even though I was a conservative working in a very liberal business. I was freed from that fear to pursue my passions. Then I made these wacky Keynes versus Hayek rap videos, and that started to change everything for me. Thank you. Yeah. They'll be on my tombstone. And then I started to do something that, frankly, I never thought I could do. I didn't think I could be up here and talk to all of you, to be on stage and share my ideas in front of a crowd. But I was freed from fear. I could do it. I was freed to pursue these sorts of things. And the biggest move was to take that big leap into entrepreneurship. So me and Lisa and my best friend Josh from 5th grade left our jobs to start Emergent Order. And since we were going to tell heroic stories about freedom, I had to move my family to Texas because I was living in New Jersey. I mean, come on. From number 49 to somewhere much, much higher on the freedom charts. And that's the thing, right? I was freed to pursue my dreams. You know, all of us in this room, myself included, when we think about public policy, we're often thinking about freedom from. That's the Bill of Rights, the freedom of the people from government, from coercion, from taxation, from regulation. And that's essential. That's the essential platform that we all need. But we also need to contend ourselves as a movement with the freedom to, with the freedom psychology. Do people have a vision for themselves? Do they have the desire for freedom? Do they have a freedom mindset? Do they believe that their agency works, that their choices matter, that their potential is unlimited, so much so that they don't even know it themselves? And that's why they need freedom, to go out there and try. That's the freedom mindset. That's what my son gave me, and that's what we as dads, in a very special way, give to our children. Through everything we do, through some things that we do, which we do naturally, like rough and tumble play, that teaches our kids how to take risks within the confines of the safety of us. To go out there and try. When they run off the field and don't want to go back on, we push them back out there. We tell them to go ahead and try to climb that higher tree. This is the thing that dads do to instill the freedom mindset in our kids. And the problem we face is that 1 in 4 Americans are being raised in a home without a biological step or adoptive father. We have a fatherhood crisis in this country. And I don't see how we can have a freedom culture, a culture of the mindset of freedom, without strong fatherhood and a strong family. And that's why, with the help of SPN and the SPN Launchpad, I launched Dad Saves America, a show dedicated to celebrating the heroic role that dads play in our families' lives, and to view the big issues of our day through the lens of family, fatherhood, and the freedom mindset. We've been off to a great start this past year and a half. We've shot 35 episodes. We've had some pretty awesome guests. We had Damon John from Shark Tank. We got Danny DeVito and his daughter coming on with their new play. And we just completed and previewed a film starring Oscar winner Troy Kotsur that embodies this freedom mindset. Troy was born deaf. His father, Len Kotsur, who was the chief of police in Mesa, Arizona, became the best signer in his household and taught him that he could accomplish anything, that he had to follow his spark. And 2 months before Troy was To graduate high school, his dad was in a car accident that left him paralyzed from the neck down and gave him another opportunity to understand the power of the freedom mindset. We debuted this film at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York, slotted right in between a movie promoting abortion and on the other side, promoting trans bicyclists. So that gives you a sense of what is possible when you reframe what we're doing around fatherhood and the freedom mindset. It's quite unifying. That morning we were on the Today Show talking about the movie. I mean, it's really powerful stuff what's possible here, to have a positive vision for how to achieve freedom. The film will be out on our YouTube channel at Dad Saves America later this fall, and so I encourage you all to check it out and subscribe so you won't miss it. So what's the lesson here? You know, this is about policy, state policy network. Well, I think for starters, think about what does it mean not just to protect people from the government, but to embrace the freedom to take risks. There's several organizations that I know have focused on this directly. The Libertas with free-range parenting legislation and Let Grow. These are great models. You know, the fatherhood crisis has some policy causes in the family courts and elsewhere. There is an opportunity at the policy level to help build that foundation and support the family so that we can have a freedom mindset in the future generation and protect a free society for generations to come. Thank you very much.